I heard a YouTuber say yesterday that it doesn't make sense to stake Hex unless it's 100,000 Hex because of the current fees you pay when the stake is undone. Do you know an example of fees paid by anyone? I don't know if you could really make a blank, Adam Johnson. Thanks for the comment, Adam, first of all. Second, I don't know if you can make a blanket statement like that. Right now, the fees are not that high. The problem is if we're in a bull market. During the bull market, I remember it was like close to $1,000 sometimes on Ethereum to really unstake. So, but at the same time, there's tremendous price appreciation going on. So even if, let's say, you got it's a very complicated question. There's no one size fits all. It depends on the gas fees at the time, right? It depends on the price of Hex at the time. There are going to be some instances where it's not worth your while to unstake, where if in the event where the Hex that you're unstaking is not as valuable as the fee to unstake, then yes, you're better off just trading the cash that you'd otherwise have spent on unstaking. You're better off just trading it for liquid Hex and letting that stake just bleed. I don't know why he's saying 100,000. I mean, it's a complicated question, but I mean, the question you really have to ask is, I mean, it depends on how Hex performs. If, let's say, let's say you put in, let's say, $500 to stake for a year, and Hex does 100x, so you have 50. That's $50,000. $500, 500. Just make sure I'm doing the math right. 500 times 100. Yeah, you have $50,000. And then you're paying 1,000, which is extremely high to unstake. It's obviously worth it if that's what Hex does in a year from now when your stake comes up. So, and that's a lot less than 100,000. So it really just depends on future price. But my thesis is, in the long run, that Ethereum fees will get better. So within the next couple of years, which is why I still stake on Ethereum. And obviously, all that gets copied over onto pulsechain. So that 100,000 Hex is going to be very cheap, seemingly, on pulsechain to unstake. So you always have that. But I don't know. You got to do your own research. It's a very complicated question.